Okay. So, my name is Rich Wilson and I'm one of the founders of a company called Volcube. We've been going for about 2.5 years now, and what we're all about is training institutional traders how to properly use derivatives. Like all good ideas, I think, well, most of my good ideas actually, we came up with it whilst I was actually drunk in my local. I was introduced to my co-founder, Simon Gledall. Now, my background is technology. I've been doing startups for the best part of a decade now. Simon's background was as a market maker, an options market maker. And we had this rambling conversation one Friday night, and he pointed out that there was this gaping hole in the way that people were trained with derivatives. And that was all about, now I don't know, when you imagine traders, I don't know who's involved with trading here, but typically people think of these open outcry pit environments with traders using hand signals and shouting at each other. That's not how it happens anymore. In very few instances it happens like that, but mostly it's about using screens, and it's done over the phones. So what happened was the training of those traders was still about this sort of open outcry style, what they call mock trading. And mock trading is all about using bits of paper to represent what they're buying and what they're selling, and they might keep a sort of a little record of what they're doing. But it's very antiquated, it takes a huge amount of time, and it's pretty much dependent on senior traders being around and people sat in a circle in the office, so it's not very good. And we discussed a few ideas about how we could leverage technology and make this a lot better. And it kind of grew organically from there. There wasn't a point where we sat down and said, I've got a great idea, let's build this into a multi-million-pound company, and this is what we're going to do. We just kind of started researching, and I knew quite a few people at the investment banks that I'd worked with previously, so I started talking to those. Simon, because of his background, knew a lot of market makers in the city, so we started talking to the proprietary trading firms. We started doing research with them while we were talking about simulators, and we went on to find a really great CTO. We found very quickly that there were lots of very good technology people available at the time, because lots of people were out of work primarily, and we were very fortunate to bring a really good CTO on board, who pretty much turned up on the first day with a sort of the first version of what became our simulator. It evolved from pretty much what he presented to us in a Starbucks, so he's quite a bright chap. We created version 1, which was all about simulating the trading environment, so trying to replicate that trading environment that they would brought into once they're qualified enough. And we created version 1.0, I guess you would call it. And we went back to all the people we've done all the great research with that we thought were our potential customers, and they all said no, that's not going to work, because what you've done is you've focused totally on the technology and not on what we need to achieve as a business. And the little key that we were missing was replicating the senior trader that runs the mock trading game. And so we had a bit of we had a drink actually after the first meeting with the investment bank. The first investment bank that told us no. And we sat down and we said, okay, so what are we going to do now? And after about an hour, we realised that we had to try and replicate that senior trader using some kind of technology, and we did that. And we set to work. We created something that we came to call Market Mentor, which is exactly like having a trader sat next to you saying, right, you need to be thinking about this in terms of your risk. You need to be looking at your portfolio here, your inventory here, right up to and including making the price. So this is exactly the price you should be making in this market. That's very simplistically what Market Mentor is all about. There's a huge amount of information that's involved in that. And then we went back to the companies again to the investment banks and the prop trading firms, and again they said no. And the reason this time was because there had been a recruitment reversal. So we were just perfect timing with all of this. And they said to us, yeah, this is really good, we can totally see the use for it. We basically designed the product to take people from their first day in the firm to 12 months, maybe a little bit beyond. But unfortunately, no one was recruiting traders at the time, straight out of university. So again, we kind of sat back. And our original plan was, okay, well, we'll try and hit the city first. We'll do Europe. There's lots of trading, options trading goes on in Amsterdam. We'll go there. Then we'll go out to Chicago. Chicago is massive for this kind of trading. And we realised that we had to go to Chicago straight away. So this was about a year ago now. And since then, we've actually been reasonably successful in Chicago because fortunately, they're hiring again. And actually, the firms are starting to hire in the UK as well. So I mentioned we train institutional traders, so these are the guys that the IBs and the prop trading firms. What we've also found is that there are roles associated with trading, which we didn't really think about. So risk managers, quite a popular role at the moment. And they actually buy licenses from us. I never thought I'd see that. But what they benefit from is gaining insight into the mindset of the trader. So they start to understand why traders make certain decisions about their trading, why they make prices certain ways, and it eases that fractious relationship that they have. In terms of the business benefits, we kind of proved these out over the past year. We halve the time it takes to get a trader to market readiness. Now, that's obviously quite significant. It typically takes an options market maker, for example, 2 years to get to being truly market ready. We take that to a year now, which is great. The most important thing, aside from saving a year on their trading, is that actually they become revenue producers sooner. That's proved to be our biggest benefit with the IBs especially. We removed this dependency on the senior traders, so no longer if you're trading, do you need to have a senior trader sat with you telling you exactly what you have to do? And because the technology we've developed is web-based, it's a web app, so they can log on at home, they can even log on the train, and they can practice to their last content, but they don't have to rely on having a senior trader around, which is great. We also introduced risk management skills. Now, for anyone involved in the business, they will know that traders actually don't start to learn risk management skills typically until they're actually trading. Now, can you imagine what that means? So these are guys taking risks with hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they don't understand risk management. We teach them risk management skills pretty much from day one. It's part of it. It's the main game screen that I'll show you shortly has a pane in it, which is a risk manager's view on their position. That's quite
well, very. I was never taught it. Huh? I was never taught it in like 2 years as a trader.
There you go. And for the firms, what we do improves trader selection. So some of these I had no idea about. With trader selection, there's a firm I'm dealing with in Chicago at the moment. It takes them 12 months to figure out of a pool of 20 trainees which 15 they're going to hang on to. 12 months. So and even then, they're not really sure. It's all done on intuition. They don't use any sort of hard data around this. It's who gets on with who, and who seems to be doing well in their little mock trading session. Now, we produce a lot of data on how well people are performing, so therefore we improve the trader selection. So gamification is obviously a bit of a buzzword, and we were encouraged by a couple of the prop trading firms to start thinking about gamification. Now, initially, all they wanted was a single number to represent how well a trader performed using our technology, and we were really reluctant to do it because we collate a huge amount of data around an individual's performance, and it's all different types of data, so how do you bring that together?
So we came up with an algorithm to do it, and we've been testing it over the past 6 months, and it's actually proved terrific. When we introduced TPR, we saw a 10-fold increase in usage on the server, pretty much overnight, because everyone measures themselves by the TPR. So one of the things we did was introduce league tables, classic gamification technique, and every firm, they all talk about, in fact, the single biggest support question we get is, how do I improve my TPI? So now we're talking about introducing badges, we're introducing levels in a couple of weeks. Trader Performance Index. Yeah, we're introducing levels, we're introducing badges. As I mentioned, the benefits are quite clear for the firm and the trainee, but it's really all about the data we produce for them. We all like pretty pictures. Now, this is our main game screen. This is pretty much a distillation of the masses of screens that you see typically on the trader's desk. Some of you might understand what that means. So it's basically an IM window on the right-hand side where you interact with the broker and all the pricing and risk screens around it. That's pretty much it. You can find more about what we do on the website. There's a couple of videos. I did an interview recently that's just gone online. We're on the usual channels as well. You can email me. Any questions?
Regarding the distillation of the trading screens, does each little window represent each screen as if one's actually working at the trader's desk?
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure about that.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough exercise because they'll typically have a dozen screens surrounding them on the desk, but we had to take out the pertinent bits. I guess you could describe it as quite tough.
Obviously, with the markets being so tough, have you tried combining it with a recruitment model or something where you could partner with a prop house and say, right, we've got all these people which have passed for the last 6 months. Have you tried it?
Yeah, well, actually, we're looking at doing something a bit sort of earlier than that, and we're partnering. We've been talking to the universities. Well, we talked to the universities pretty much straight away, and the interesting conversation there was that they absolutely loved it. Said for our master's degrees, there's a gaping hole because all we do is teach theory. We need something that's practical. This is the practical bit. This is the bit we need. Oh, we've got no money. At that stage, after being kicked in the teeth a few times already, we said, okay. But we're going back to them now. Because we're so far down the line that we're just about in a position where we can offer a free version, which would be an earlier version of the technology, which they will use, and we're talking about things like certification and that kind of thing with those guys.
Is there any university qualified or any university you have to be specific to qualify for this program? Which you said to be free or
yeah, we actually, when we were developing the simulator, we tested it on sort of family and friends because we wanted it. The idea was that anyone could pick it up, and we even tested it on my mum, who is the most unmathematical person I know, and she was able to start making prices and start actually asking the pertinent questions and using the market mentor technology to really get her going. So in theory, anyone could use it. Typically, the sort of person who's going to use it is going to be educated to about master's degree level, because they're the people that typically become traders, just the nature of the job.
So pension schemes use derivatives to hedge away risk like inflation, but their biggest problem is lay trustees don't understand derivatives.
Yeah.
And so the pensions investment management industry has a big problem in educating a lot of lay trustees. Surely this is ideal to at least raise the base level of education and and you could get people like Legal and General, Inside Investment,
Oh yeah. No
all
doubt
the
about
others to sponsor putting this into universities.
it. That's a really good idea. Thank you. Yeah, I mean that's completely untapped for us. We're so busy talking to prop trading firms over in Chicago primarily, but over here in the IBs as well. Just haven't
I
had
can help
time
you
to
with some
think about
contacts
that.
if you like.
Sorry?
I can help you with some contacts.
That'd be great. Thank you. Gentlemen.
I'm interested in TPI purely based on statistical information or as it for TPI actually what is it?
No, it's totally statistical. Yeah.
I've always wondered, could you not train algorithms instead of people and rate the algorithms? And
Yeah, it's pretty much, we talk about this all the time. There are, there's the concept of algo traders, so people program computers to trade. Yeah? And one of the next steps for us could be to offer our simulation to the algo traders, so to test their algorithms against. But yeah, people are doing that. I think most of the
training computers.
yeah. Most of the options trading is algo trading. Very little of it is manual. But we're only dealing with a very small part of that market.
How do you price the solution? How do you price the solution for the clients?
So we license them per user per year, and then but we cut it from that. So for example, risk managers will typically take 1 or 2 months, whereas trader trainings, assistant traders, class, that kind of thing, they'll take a year and then go from there.
Has your contact with the derivatives markets, is that enhanced your faith, if you like, your confidence in the financial system, or shaken it?
It's I don't know if I can answer that, but it's given me a huge amount of insight into what goes on there.
Yeah, thank you.
All done? Oh, one more.
One more.
Is it, do you train against live data or is it past data or is it simulated?
Yeah, it's we call it Volcube Exchange. There's a few different modes you can play in. You can play directly against our simulator engine, or you can play in an exchange environment against your friends. So the data it acts just like a normal exchange. It's a regular matching engine, and the data moves about according to an algorithm in the background. Thank you.